Perfect. Welcome to the second video of how to design your own rocket. This video will be covering the OpenRocket software. This is where we'll be designing the rocket. Why do we need to design a rocket before building it? You can't attach an engine to a tube and expect it to fly straight or high. The goal of OpenRocket is to make sure the stability is okay, as well as getting your desired apogee. Stability can be seen here in the top right of the workspace. Our goal is to keep that between 1 and 1.5, so it isn't understable or overstable, and that's dependent on where the center of gravity of the rocket is, as well as the center of pressure. In the bottom left, we can see apogee, max velocity, and max acceleration. As mentioned in the last video, apogee is going to be the max height reached of the rocket. Alright, with that, let's get started on making this. Okay, to get us started, we're going to click on our sustainer, and then we can select our first thing to add. Let's add the body tube. Close out of that, and here we can see the settings. We are planning on using cardboard for this. Length, I have an old wrapping paper tube. It's 30 inches long. Has an outer diameter of 2 inches, and let's go with an inner diameter of 1.9. Okay, there we have our body tube down here. Next, let's add the nose cone. Click on the sustainer, nose cone, close. Now we can see we have it in the wrong spot, so we're going to just drag it up over here. Perfect. Let's edit it. Okay, let's edit the base diameter first. Let's go with our 2-inch diameter. Length, so I have, let's go with 10 inches. Okay, there that. Oh, material, plan on using styrofoam. Let's do one. Okay, perfect. And then let's do a conical shape. Okay, noted up here we can see our stability of -9.1. That's quite far off of our desired 1 to 1.5. Okay, next let's add the shoulder to the nose cone. This will be the inner diameter of the rocket body of 1.9 inches. And then the length, let's go with a length of 1.5 inches. And then if we hit OK, you can see this as the shoulder. This is what connects it to the body tube and what will separate when the parachute deploys. Okay, let's go back to the body tube. Let's add the inner tube. This is where the engine will be. And let's go with, we're just going to leave this as is for right now. It should be good. Oh. Yeah, we're just going to cancel on that. We'll just place it again and then leave it be. Close. Okay, we're planning using cardboard. So now let's select this inner tube. Let's go to motors and configuration. We'll select inner tube, and then we'll add the motor that we are planning on using. For this one, I have a D12 that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. Let's click on that one and hit OK. So now we can see apogee and stability numbers. And then we can see our inner tube is too small. So let's go back to this inner tube, hit edit. Let's go for an inner diameter in centimeters. I know the outer diameter of that engine is 24 millimeters. So let's go with 2.4 centimeters. Let's go for an out. Oh, that is not what I want. Okay, let's start with the outer diameter, 2.5. And then we'll bring the inner diameter up to 2.4, which is what we desire. So what I'll do with that is I have just a cardboard roll, and I'll just cut it down to what we want. Okay, next let's add the centering rings. These create the engine mount combined with the inner tube. And the centering rings connect the inner tube to the body tube, keeping them in place. Let's close that. Let's just bring it up to about right. Let's go with right there. And then for this material, I'll be using basswood that I picked up, and we're just going to hit OK on that. Let's throw another centering ring in there. Let's go to basswood. Perfect, and let's throw that also down there. Let's go about, oh, if I can do it. Let's go about right there. Oh, no, wrong placement. Perfect. Okay. Next, I would like my inner tube to be a little longer, so I'm going to go back to the inner tube, edit, and let's add the length. We'll just go it up. This one shouldn't matter too much. It'll just be however long my toilet paper roll or paper towel roll will be. Okay. Next, let us add the fins. So for this, we have a few options here: trapezoidal, elliptical, or freeform. I prefer doing freeform just so that I can change it how I want. And then let's select basswood. Okay. And I'm just going to leave that as is for right now. Let's add the rest of the parts, and then we can edit the fins to be the shape we want to adjust our stability. Okay. Next, I want to add a bulkhead. This will be basswood, and this will be up against the shoulder of the nose cone, and just so that the nose cone experiences less damage, all the force from the pressure is going to just hit this bulkhead. So this just has to be relative, just to get the calculations in there. I'm going to use basswood for that. Okay, next, let's add a engine block. Close. I will be using basswood for this. Let's go and move that. Oh, I'm going to hit cancel on that because I had the body tube selected. Let's select the inner tube, then hit bulkhead, close. Let's go to basswood. We have basswood there, and we're just going to move that right above the engine. Okay, that'll be good, and that makes sure the engine doesn't go out this way, kind of keeps it in place on this axis. We'll also have a hook down here just to make sure it doesn't fall out the bottom during flight. Okay, let's add the launch lugs. Those are right here, and we're just going to keep that material. These don't weigh too much, but just want to keep them in mind. Probably try to use a straw or something. Okay, let's add another one to the body tube. Close. Okay, perfect. And we'll go to here to the body tube. Let's add just a shock cord. We're just gonna cancel that. I don't really know what kind of shock cord I'll use. I'm hoping on a rubber band, so I'm just gonna add a mass component here, just so that it is considered when we're looking at stability. And I'm gonna say it will weigh 6 grams. And I'll be connecting the nose cone to the body tube so that they stay together when the parachute deploys. Let's also throw a parachute in there. Close this. I'm using polyethylene thin. And then for inches, we have an 18-inch parachute. Perfect. That looks good. Oh, I forgot to edit where it was. So, placement. And adjust this bar. We're planning on putting it about there. Okay. Perfect. If we look at all the components, nose cone, bulkhead, engine mount, engine, body tube, launch lugs. Let's now look at the fins. Now we can edit these how we want. So let's go over to shape. Let's zoom out so we can see better. And now this is where we can really focus on the stability number and get the fins looking how we'd like, as well as looking at this apogee number in meters. I personally really like this shape of wings. However, it looks like it might be too stable if I do that. I don't want to risk being overstable, so maybe, so by pressing on this wire, we can create more points. However, I'm looking to cut this out of basswood, so I do not want a whole bunch of points to measure from. So we're just going to cancel, discard those changes. Let's edit this. Actually, yep, set to the right material. Okay, let's scale this out to 50%. Notice this is in centimeters, so when you are measuring and cutting wings, this will be important. Fins, not bad. Okay, let's go with -5. Move that back some. Ooh, I'm kind of liking the shape of those wings. Let's move this up to 10. Okay, still could use some more stability. Let's try, this over to 5. Okay, we are getting there. What could I do? I think I like the look of 4 wings. So I'll go number of fins. So I'll go to fins, and let's just add another one. Okay, so this is what our rocket's looking like. It appears that our stability is on the higher end. I'd like to just be a little as close to 1 as possible, but a little over it. Maybe like 1.1 or 1.2 would look nice. So let's go back to shape. I think I would like to move that down. That has increased the stability. Let's just move it down again. That has increased it once again. Okay, let's move this top component up. That has still made it more stable, so why don't we go backwards? This is nice, so we can kind of just play with this. Also, if you just want to move the lines, it's quite fun. Okay, let's move this back down to 7. Okay, honestly, I'm liking the look of that. It's a good stability number. So this is what the rocket will look like. So we can see our apogee is 70 meters. That should be about a little over 200 feet. And now we have the design of our rocket. So the plan is, when we are building this, we use this as a reference as much as possible and try to follow the steps that we did here to recreate it as much as possible, because if we recreate it perfectly, we can get about the stability and make sure that the rocket itself will fly correctly. Okay, this is looking good. This will be our rocket. Actually, let me add another mass component for just anything that we might add in the center. Let's add 5 grams. It's for the paper that we are going to put in the center while we do that. Okay, we are leaning on the more stable side. That's okay. Between 1 and 1.5, that's looking good. So this is going to be the rocket we will be designing. And that should be the video. If you have any questions, please ask them.